Hi, everybody out there in Think Tank land. It's Brian here, one half of the Think Tank guys, with another episode of our 52 Ways to Put Your Policy to Work project. Here it is, 52 Ways to Put Your Policy to Work, hashtag 52 Ways project on Facebook and LinkedIn. Man, it's exciting. We've pounded through 38, this is week 38, almost 40, getting close to our 52 weeks worth of ideas that on how you can make the best use of this account, this use of this asset. Think differently, think much differently than the mainstream about this account of cash value inside whole life policies. I mean, it's so powerful. And one of the stories that Eric just told recently was how businesses can both incentivize and reward their employees by utilizing whole life policies as a part of the retirement plan. Ironically, I'm just pulling the book off the shelf. One of the books where I really first dug into the statistics behind these types of policies is Pirates of Manhattan here, written by a researcher named Barry Dyke. He proved out that pensions and retirement plans, both that are currently in existence as well as the ones that have gone away because employers wanted to shift the risk onto the employees' backs, they were all built on the foundation of life insurance products and annuity products, which are based on actuarial insurance science. And what was exciting about last week's talk was that Eric was showing how policies could be funded by employers. It's a little different from the funding of a 401k where you get a salary deduction and stuff like that. The mechanics are a little bit different, but they can be funded by employers. And that's really exciting. I've had a couple clients ask about how that works. And we share information. We give information that they can share back to their bosses and see if they want to do it. At Paradigm, we have several clients that are business owners that utilize these accounts for their employees and executives and stuff. But more importantly, today I wanted to focus on the fact that if your job only offers a 401k, that's okay. Right? You can still use that. You can still take advantage of the match. You can still, do whatever that's going to do. Most importantly, you should have a better idea on what to expect from those 401ks, after conversations and some of the webinars that we share and stuff like that. But, most importantly, if that's all they offer, that's okay. If you want to participate in a 401k or a TSP or a 403b and you're getting a match and you want to contribute up to that match and you want to shove money in that world, that's okay. What's exciting is that we can still build a policy right next to it. And that policy is actually going to provide several things. It's going to give you more control over your cash, more control over your investments, more control over your investing strategy that a 401k by itself would not provide. It's going to offer you improved financing and opportunities for investment strategy. Some of the biggest investors right now, as I'm recording this in 2018, are talking about how they're waiting on the sideline for potential drop, a potential bloodbath to happen. And when we think about the role our policies can play there as a place for cash to be held safely that we can eventually leverage back into investments when they go on sale, I mean, there's no better place. You just can't do that in a 401k by itself. You have to do it next to a 401k. And then we can also grab hold of the financing concepts that you've seen a lot in this 52 Ways to Put Your Policy to Work video series. There's a lot of strategy around having control of that financing piece of our life and essentially profiting because of it. But lastly, we have improved 401k outcomes. We can directly influence the outcome of our 401k, which is meant to do what? Replace our income in retirement. Think about that. We're shoving money into this place that we can't control. It's fully exposed to the market, all because we want to somehow stop working one day and then turn that into income. Well, nobody understands income better than the folks that create and do the math for guaranteed income streams, the life insurance companies. So, we can improve our 401k outcomes by essentially piggybacking or partnering, complementing a policy right next to our 401k. And Eric and I both have various webinars on this. There's some hints at this earlier in our series of the 52 Ways to Put Our Policy to Work. But I just wanted you to see and hear that if your job only offers a 401k, that's okay, because you can improve the outcomes by using a policy right next to it. Let me give you an example. If you have $1 million, let's say your 401k at retirement is worth $1 million for ease of numbers, right? If we just follow the Wall Street way, okay? Wall Street Way tells us that we can only take out safely. They used to say 4%, but now they can say we can safely take out, or hope to safely take out, anywhere from 2.8 to 3.5% of that balance every single year, with the hopes that there'll still be $1 when we're like 91, 92. And just kind of validate that, I kind of pulled up a few articles. You know, there's article ripping apart this 4% rule. You know, 4% rule here. Let me actually mark this up a little bit. 4% rule here. Suckers bet. You know, failure rates are high. It's because of today's low interest rate environment. And what was considered safe in the 90s, when the stock market was still, everyone thought it was only going to go up. Now they're saying that it's anywhere from 2.8 to 3.5%. And the rest of this article starts to get into the role that that life insurance companies, with their products, play in terms of offsetting the longevity risk of people running out of money. No one's going to run out of money if you start spending your cash and you only live two or three years in retirement here. Right? If you only live 2 or 3 years and you got $1 million, well, you can spend like a sailor, drunken sailor, right? But if we don't know that whether or not we're going to live until we're 100, if we don't know, if we're concerned about leaving money for a spouse, just in case we do in fact get hit by the proverbial bus, we have to taper our withdrawals from these accounts. Forget about the fact that they're totally taxable if all we've done is save into a 401k. But we have to taper our withdrawals. And $1 million in this world will only create, I'm going to use the 3.5, $35,000 a year. Well, if we harness the combined approach, which essentially piggybacks a 401k with a whole life policy, right? That's what I'm saying. If your job only offers a 401k, that's okay. If we have a whole life policy right next to it, now we can actually increase our distributions to anywhere from 6 up to 13%, depending on how long we've had that policy in effect and how much cash value we've successfully built right next to our 401k. So I'm just going to turn around and use the lower number here as opposed to the higher number I did over here. That same $1 million that we've saved up can effectively create $60,000 a year. And over here, because we're using actuarial science, we can actually get that guaranteed. Not to run out, whereas the 3.5% over on Wall Street's way isn't guaranteed for the rest of our life. We can get that guaranteed. That's almost twice. It's almost 2 times. Almost 2 times, right? And if we build it effectively over a longer period of time and we could pull out larger amounts, I mean, obviously that's greater than 2 times the income we get off of just the Wall Street way. So, ladies and gentlemen, just make sure you circle back with Eric or I if you have questions about this. We have plenty of resources. We have, they're called white papers, research papers that can teach this stuff, statistics that can prove out the challenges with the old way that I've mentioned to you. We have plenty of data to share with you, all because we want you to be able to fully understand not just how to use this asset, but really fully understand how to more strategically build your wealth, build certainty and dependability into your financial future, and don't just hang your hat entirely on the Wall Street promise. So in the meantime, you guys stay well, stay prosperous. Here's to your prosperity. Keep plugging in with us. And if there's anything Eric or I can do for you, just let us know. See you next week.